$111,000 gone in one 10-minute form, and that's the average household. That's not even the horror story. The horror stories are what drag the average that high. The form is the Social Security application. The mistake is the date at the top. Same person, same 45 years of work, same taxes paid in, every dollar of it. Start the checks at 62 and it's $1,400 a month. Wait, and it's $2,480. $1,080 a month apart forever off one date on one form. And here's what makes this one different from everything else on this channel. There's no salesman. Nobody earns a commission when you claim early. No fine print, no fees. The government will actually pay you the bigger check happily. 3 people in 10 still take the small one. Because somebody convinced them the whole thing is about to go broke and you'd better grab yours before the doors close. You've heard it. Your brother-in-law's heard it. It'll be gone by the time you get there. And I'll tell you now, the rumor is half true. There is a real date. It's closer than you think. And the trustees who run the thing published it themselves this June. But the half that's true is exactly the reason grabbing it early doesn't save you. By the end of this, you'll know the real number that survives that date, and I promise you it's not 0. Let's start with who's whispering in your ear. So picture when this decision actually happens. You're 61 and change. Work is getting old, or your knees are, or the plant's offering packages. And the claiming question is sitting there, and you do what everybody does. You go looking for an answer. And the internet is waiting for you. Oh, it's been waiting. Every third video is a red thumbnail with a cracked Social Security card on it. Collapsing. Insolvent. The trust fund is empty. And you should understand how that economy works. Fear is the best performing product in retirement content. Calm doesn't get clicked. Actually, It's Mostly Fine has never gone viral in the history of the internet. The people making those videos don't get paid when you claim wisely. They get paid when you watch. Scared people watch. Then there's the friendly version, the guy at the barbecue. I took mine at 62. Get in while you can. It's going broke anyway. And he's not lying to you. He's repeating the thumbnail. The rumor's done a full lap and come back wearing your buddy's face. And then sometimes there's a professional in the loop. And look, I have to be careful here because there's no villain with a mustache in this one. But there's a survey out there where about 2/3 of financial advisors said client panic about Social Security going broke changed how they plan, and around half started recommending annuities because of it. Annuities. We did a whole video on what selling one of those pays. So no, nobody profits off your early claim directly. But fear moves product, and the fear happens to be very good for business in every room you'll sit in. That's the pitch. It's not a brochure, it's an atmosphere. And every version of it ends the same way. Get the money now, because later isn't safe. Okay. Let's go look at what now actually costs. Here's how the machine really works, and it's simpler than anyone makes it. Social Security has one honest number for you, and it's the check you get at your full retirement age. For basically everybody deciding this now, that's 67. Say your number's $2,000 a month. That's about the average check these days, so we'll use it. Every other age is just a markup or a markdown off that. Claim at 62, the earliest possible, and you get 70% of your own check, $1,400 instead of $2,000. And that's not a penalty phase you grow out of. It doesn't heal. 70% is your new 100% for life. Every raise, every cost of living bump for the rest of your life calculated off the small number. Now the other direction, and listen carefully because this is the part everybody garbles. Between 62 and 67, waiting just walks you back up to your real check. That's not a bonus, that's the discount unhappening. The actual bonus only starts after 67. From there, every year you wait pays 8% more, Guaranteed, up until 70, and then it stops. There's nothing past 70. Don't wait past 70. 67 to 70, 3 years, that's 24% on top. Your 2,000 becomes 2,480. So there's the whole menu. 1,400 at 62, 2,000 at 67, 2,480 at 70. The gap between the inpatient check and the patient one is $1,080 a month, 13 grand a year, indexed to inflation until you die. There is no product at any steak dinner in America that guarantees that, and this one's free. But I'm getting checks for 8 extra years. Yes, you are. That's real, and that's the trade. The small check years you bank up front versus the bigger check every month after. There's a crossover age where waiting pulls ahead, and for the 62 versus 70 decision, it lands somewhere around 80, 82. So the honest question isn't which check is bigger, it's, do you plan on being alive at 81? Because a 62-year-old today, on average, lives 20 plus more years. Most people crossing this bridge make it past the crossover. The average claimer is betting against their own life expectancy and losing. That 111,000 from the top, that's this math measured. A landmark study, this was 2019, run by a former chief economist of the Social Security Administration itself, added up what households actually forfeit by claiming at the wrong time. $3.4 trillion across the country, 111 grand for the average household. They found only about 4 in 100 people waited until 70, when for the majority, that was the winning move. And one more because almost nobody tells you this part. If you're married, your claiming date isn't only about you. When you go, your spouse can step into your benefit. Your check, at the size you locked in, claim small at 62, and you're not just cutting your own retirement, you're cutting your widow's income or your widower's for the rest of their life. That date on the form outlives you. Okay, now the rumor. Because everything I just said gets an objection, and it's always the same one. None of that matters if the whole thing's broke by then. So here's the actual situation, from the trustee's own report, the June 2026 one, not a thumbnail. The retirement trust fund, at the current pace, runs dry in late 2032. That part of the rumor is true. It's real, and it's soon, and I'm not going to pretend otherwise. But here's what runs dry means, and this is where the thumbnails are lying to you. The trust fund is not where your check comes from. Most of your check comes from payroll taxes, the money every working person is paying in right now, this month, constantly. The fund is the cushion on top, so if it empties, and Congress does absolutely nothing, no fix, no deal, everyone just watches it happen, benefits don't stop, they drop to 78% of what's scheduled. Count both trust funds together, and it's more like 83% a couple years later. 78% is a real cut. It would hurt, I'm not waving it away. But hold the two numbers up next to each other because this is the whole video. The disaster scenario, the one from the scary thumbnail, the one where Congress sleeps through the alarm for 6 straight years, costs you 22%. Maybe. Someday. Claiming at 62 costs you 30%. Guaranteed. Today. Signed by you. You took a bigger cut than the apocalypse, voluntarily, to escape the apocalypse. And it's worse than that, actually. Congress never wrote down exactly how a shortfall cut would get applied, but the official projections all model it the same way. It comes off everybody's check, across the board. The people who claimed early, the people who waited, same percentage, same day. Claiming at 62 doesn't grandfather you in. There's no get in before the doors close. The doors don't work like that, so the early claimers' worst case is the 30% they chose, and then same slice everyone else gets on top. The fear bought them nothing. It just made their base number smaller before the math even starts. And one more thing about that 6 years of nothing scenario. Every time this cliff has gotten close before, the fix came. Not because politicians are brave, but because 70 million voters get a benefit letter and both parties can read. I'm not promising you a painless fix. Taxes may go up, ages may creep for people younger than you. I'm telling you the one scenario that never survives contact with an election, the 22% cut just happening to everyone, while Washington shrugs. A guaranteed cut you sign to dodge a maybe cut that hits you either way. That's the gap between the pitch and the paper on this one. Finding that gap is what this channel does every week, so if that's worth something, subscribe. Now, the fair part, because 62 is not always wrong, and I need you to hear that too. There are people who should absolutely claim early, and if you're one of them, take the money and don't let some video shame you out of it. If your health is bad, genuinely bad, family history short, doctors frowning, then that crossover age around 80 isn't your math. The break-even argument assumes you're average. You know things about yourself the actuarial tables don't. If you need it, you need it. If it's 62 Social Security or the credit card to keep the lights on, that's not a strategy question. Take the benefit, that's what it's for. No spreadsheet outranks groceries. And married couples, it genuinely gets complicated. Sometimes the lower earner claiming early while the higher earner waits is the smart play. Because remember, it's the higher check that survives for the widow. That one's worth an hour with an actual planner, a fee-only one, before either of you files anything. But notice what's not on that list. Because it's going broke is not on the list. Fear didn't make the list. And if you want to retire at 62, listen, retire at 62. Retiring and claiming are two different decisions. Everybody welds them together and they come apart clean. If you've got savings, spend the savings first and let the benefit grow behind you. Every year you cover from the pile buys you a permanently bigger check, and once you're past 67, each year you wait is a guaranteed 8% raise, inflation protected for life. Last video I told you economists only love the boring annuities. This is the one they love most, and nobody can sell it to you. You can only wait your way into it. So here's what you do. This week, it takes 10 minutes and it's free. Go to ssa.gov and open your account. It's the government's own site. There's nothing to buy. Your actual 3 numbers are sitting right there. You're 62, you're 67, you're 70. Not my $2,000 example, yours. Write them down all 3 and then do one multiplication. The gap between the top and bottom number times 12 times 15 years. That's what the date on the form is worth in your handwriting. Show it to your spouse and treat the decision with the respect and irreversible one deserves. There's technically a narrow do-over window in the first year, but you have to pay everything back, so in practice, the date you pick is the date you live with. Oh, and if you claim early while you're still working, there's an earnings limit that can hold part of the check back, which is a whole extra wrinkle for another day. One more reason the date deserves more than a barbecue rumor. And the next time anybody, tells you to grab it at 62 before it's gone, ask them one question. If the fund runs dry, what % of my check keeps coming? If they don't know it's 78, they're not giving you advice. They're reciting a thumbnail. If this moved your number or saved your spouse's, subscribe. Because next one, we're doing the advisor. The nice one with the office plant who charges just 1%. 1% that works out to $10,000 a year, a quarter of your retirement income, and I'll show you exactly where it hides. See you there.